Hello and welcome. This is Malin from Magic of the North, and in this video I want to talk a bit about why spontaneous landscape painting actually saved my creativity and is the only reason why I am painting today. I have been painting for most of my life. I went to some art schools, nothing fancy schmancy. But I think many of you share this feeling of the fear of the white paper, the perfectionism, and is there anything worse for creativity than perfectionism and the fear of failing and not being good enough? I dare say there isn't really. And so I was trapped in that. I had these nice materials because I had heard that you're supposed to use nice watercolor paper and you need to use colors with good pigment. And so I bought those really expensive things. And then I had that said white paper in front of me, and I just didn't know how to fill that paper. Because in my mind, I already knew this is gonna suck. This is not gonna be good. And I really hated when I heard people say, "Oh, you just have to have fun, no pressure, just having fun and letting it all go." But that didn't work, and I still believe to this day it does not work. I think that advice is not usable. It's of no use. Telling someone who is anxious about ruining a painting to tell them, "Oh, just let it go and just have funsies with it." No, you're just going to be anxious and you're going to feel like this is turning into shit and I can't do this. And then sure enough, it will turn into shit because you don't know how to start, because this white paper gives you so much anxiety. So my creativity was basically going down the bin. I did do other stuff. I did some writing and I did some paper crafting and stuff like that, but I couldn't really paint. And then I stumbled over this channel, and it's Mind of Watercolor, Steve Mitchell. And he also does a lot of spontaneous watercolor painting. And to me, it was like a door to heaven had opened. Because that was it. I could finally paint. Because it was not in my control anymore. You just take color, just as you saw me do here before, and you blotch it on the paper. And of course, you can't start a painting like painting a horse or a house in a certain angle or something. This is landscape painting. And then I would say this is intuitive painting as well. Because the whole thing about this is you not overthinking, but also you not having decide so much. When I start this painting now, I have these 6 little paintings, and I just blotched in some yellow and some a bit of dark and sprayed with some water, and then I let it dry, and I already have these small little landscapes. And the only thing I do now is just put in some more details. I put in a little tree and then a bigger tree in the foreground. And I really try to not overthink too much and just go with the flow. And there is really no right or wrong. You can put a single tree in the foreground. You can just put a tiny pine tree in the background. You don't have to be great at painting trees. We are not after the detailed small little leaves or something like that. And you will end up with something that you maybe not will love, but you will like it. And liking some of your results is the key to continue. Because if you do something and you basically get affirmed the thought that you had in the beginning, like, "Oh, this is going to be shit," and then it is shit, and then you say, "Yeah, that's what I was saying all along, so I cannot paint." And then you put it aside and you never get to experience the joy, the feeling of, "Oh my God, this is really fun." Because you will never get to the fun part. But this, I promise you, this is the way to make painting fun. It works in acrylics too, or in other materials. I don't only paint in watercolor. I would call myself a mixed media artist. I use a lot of gouache too on top of the watercolor paintings, or I use a base of acrylics, and I often end up my paintings with soft pastel. If you check out any of the other videos I have here, there are some of them who really, I just go over the top and they end up not great, but I actually have fun doing that. And 6 years ago, that would never have happened. And today, I don't mind anymore. I don't have a lot of money, so I mean, it's not that I can't afford to waste a lot of paper or pigments. But today, I'm not afraid anymore to start painting. And even if it gets ruined, there are ways. I have video too that is a basically, I can put a link here, how you save basically any painting with a few tricks. But I'm not sad anymore if there are paintings who turn out badly. It's fine, because I have so many paintings that I am pleased with. So this is truly a freeing way, and I have had so many people reaching out to me and telling me that they finally can start to paint again, that they feel joy painting, that they haven't been able to paint for so long. And I think everybody who is feeling this anxiety of the white paper should try this method. And I usually talk about that materials aren't super important. You don't need the exact same brush I have or the exact same paper. If you have the means, get good quality paper that is 100% cotton. If you don't have it, it's fine with other paper too. I would say personally that the pigments are the most important thing. If you buy super cheap watercolors that are very low pigmented, it will not be great. But I have quite a lot of paper that is just cellulose paper, and it's fine too, because this painting style, it's not really the classical watercolor painting style where you wet the whole paper super much, because that's usually the problem with these cellulose papers. They just turn into like papier-mâché. So it's working fine with just if it's a sturdy paper. I myself prefer cold press watercolor paper. And yeah, while I was painting this, I wasn't really thinking too much. I had 6 small paintings, and I could just switch from painting to painting, add a little here, add a little there, and it is really joyful. It's very relaxing. There is no pressure, there is no outcome that has to be fulfilled. It's just you scribbling. It's basically like doodling, I would say. And yeah, I would really want you to give this a try. If you clicked this video, I mean, something in you probably feels that anxiety too, or maybe you feel yourself inhibited in your creativity, and this really is a great way of freeing yourself. If you want to know the exact procedure of and what I'm adding here and all the details, please consider joining my Kofi, and it is only €3 a month, and you will see similar videos like this in real time talking, and it's about 40 minutes long. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will put a link to another video of mine if you want to check that out. Yeah, that was about it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.